What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Listen, I don't even know where to begin. I do not have a script of any sort, but as you all already know, because I was watching it in real time, I was just not reporting on it. I wasn't recording about it, but I was watching it. I was listening. And, in the middle of multitasking, as I am always doing, this is no surprise to me. I remember back in January, around the time of the inauguration, I can't remember who it was though, but I do remember listening to someone that said, give it about 6 months and this bromanship, this so-called relationship, this link up between Elon and 45/47, it's going to come to an ultimate demise. I wish I could remember who said it because I really want to give that person credit. But here we are. This is the month of June. So we're going into about that 6 month period since this all took place. And here we are. You've got Elon calling 45/47 out. And the things that he's saying, it's no shocker. None of this stuff about him being on the Epstein list is a surprise. I talked about this last year, and I know there are other people that have talked about it too. But I talked about this last year, and the thing about this stuff is when it comes to him being on the Epstein list, he was in this all-fire rush to put out to declassify the documents with regards to MLK, JFK, all of this other stuff. But when it came to Epstein, oh well, we have to be careful because there's stuff in there, and some of that stuff may not be true, and it could be stuff that could really embarrass people. Like, what are we talking about right now? Because all of those MAGA people who are so in support of 45/47 that love to bring up President Barack Obama, President Bill Clinton, even Hillary Clinton. I've heard so many of those people name those three names in conjunction with Epstein, but completely eliminated any real documentation that we already have, which is 45/47's own words talking about Epstein, video footage, and photographs of him with Epstein. Okay. So all of those people that tried to connect all of those other three names that I talked about with Epstein, and I'm not even saying that they never had any time with the Epstein plane, jet, island, whatever. I don't know. And to be quite honest with you, I really do not care because at this point in time, especially in the point in our lives where we are right now in history, most of these people's hands are not clean. So I'm not sitting here saying any of these people are saints. But what I am saying is for those so-called Christians, these MAGA people, these white evangelicals that talked about God called 45/47 to be the president of the United States, but completely discluded, eliminated, would not speak of anything with regard to him and Epstein is absolutely ridiculous. All right. So I'm going to share my screen just to get into some of these things with regards to what they're talking about right now. This dude is crazy, but I'm just like I'm not surprised when it comes to the things that come out of these people's mouths. All right. So let's see here. Trump tells ABC Musk, quote, lost his mind, not particularly interested in talking to him. In a phone interview this morning, Friday morning, hours after blistering exchange with Elon Musk, President Donald Trump sounded remarkably unconcerned about their feud, as if it weren't even the most interesting thing that happened Thursday. Speaking on a phone call Friday morning, shortly before 7 a.m., ABC News asked him about reports he had a call scheduled with Musk for later in the day. You mean the man who has lost his mind? He asked. saying he was, quote, not particularly interested in talking to him right now. He said Musk wants to talk to him, but he's not ready to talk to Musk. Trump then talked for a couple of minutes about other things referring to inflation, blah, 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 BS. Anyway, he is crazy. Both of these people have lost their mind. This dude has lost his mind a long time ago. And this one hepped up on all the ketamine he allegedly takes and other substances, and the black eye that he was sporting for a few days. Yeah, both of them have lost their mind. The fact that he put so much money behind this ass clown, who ironically is wearing an orange tie in this, I guess he wanted something to match his skin. But anyway, this person, yeah, he definitely has lost his mind. So he didn't lie when it comes to that, but he didn't lose his mind when he started blasting him with all of the stuff that he's been saying about him. He lost his mind when he decided to put all of this money behind his campaign and, in my personal opinion, rig the election. 45/47, he's one of those people that a lot of the times the things that he says, he is a liar. So a lot of the things that he says is really not true. But he also, when he does say some things that are supposedly about other people, he's really talking about himself. He really is. So all of the times that he's talked about rigged elections, he was projecting on himself, but he was talking about other people. The first time he ran, he was saying, if I don't win, it's only because it's a rigged election. And it was a rigged election because he did win. I do believe Russia interfered in the election. And I definitely believe that's one of the reasons why they did the investigation. And it's one of the reasons why, even though they did find some findings, they decided not to pursue and move forward. And 45/47 removed James Comey from the position that he had because he decided to pursue an investigation against him. But it wasn't a problem when he pursued an investigation against Hillary Clinton during the election, which I believe was one of the things that caused the interference in that election and for her to allegedly lose and for him to allegedly win. So we're going to get into some of these tweets that he decided to either share or write himself. All right. So we know he shared this video, which I talked about this last year. And as you can see, look at 45's. Look at it. He's disgusting. Look at those eyebrows. Oh my God. He's always been ugly. Always been ugly. Just look at him.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
You see, this isn't 45/47 going to Epstein's residence or business or island or plane. This is him welcoming Epstein to his place. So although we know that Epstein was a notorious pedophile and all of the other horrible things that have been proven about him, I believe that this man also has his toes in the ringleadership of that type of behavior.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front.
Look at everybody dancing off beat. Oh my God, I'm sorry, it's funny.
Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot."
Let me tell you, I don't need to share any more of this. He's foul, he's disgusting, but this is Elon Musk sharing this with the raised eyebrow the raised eyebrow emoji. He says the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. Big surprise. Actually, I thought that was already taking place. They're just not labeling it a recession. Here's another tweet that he shared with the raised eyebrow emoji. The relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 7 times, though it's not clear he ever went to the island. Here's what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 New York Magazine profile, which I talked about this before. Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet, if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side, as much as I do. But yeah, he didn't say that part, but we know that's what you meant. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life. And this is a dude who loves to throw other people under the bus. So to be honest with you, even though what he was saying about Epstein was supposed to be sort of flattering, he was also throwing him under the bus because if you see from the beginning here, this was to speak differently about what Epstein was saying about himself, saying he's someone that says he's a loner, he doesn't touch alcohol or drugs, he doesn't really have much of a nightlife, and it's far from energetic. And then he turns around to say, oh, yeah, he loves to hang out, he loves to party, he loves beautiful women, and actually, a lot of them are on the younger side. So, yeah, he enjoys his social life. This man is loyal to no one, okay? So, all of the money that Elon Musk gave him to put him in this position and also I believe do some other things to rig the election because I'm sorry guys, I know polls are not always indicative of where a election is going to head, but even people who have history of predicting who is going to win the election and the majority of the polls except for the ones that are always favorable to 45/47 and Republicans were showing Kamala was going to win. And then he just turns around and wins. And then it's supposed to be like the majority of the states went to him. I don't believe that. I still believe that it definitely was rigged. Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody said, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should replace him. And Elon Musk retweeted that and said, yes. And hey, do we call this Twitter or X? And if it's not Twitter anymore, so we don't say tweet, do we say X'd? He re-X'd it. So stupid. Anyway, he said, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. And this was to say, time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. And that is the truth. And I have said that before. Let me tell you guys something, all right? Let's flip it and reverse it. Let's say that we had all of this footage, photographic footage, video footage, conversations, audio footage, and freaking articles, write-ups about Barack Obama and Jeffrey Epstein being good buddies, okay? And during the time Barack Obama was president, Epstein was arrested and then he somehow dies in prison. All of those people would be saying that Barack Obama has something to do with Jeffrey Epstein being unalived and that he was in the Epstein files. And if Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested while Barack Obama was president, and Barack Obama responds when he was asked a question, what do you think about Ghislaine Maxwell? And he responds to say, I wish her well. Every one of those same people who are sitting here backing 45/47 would say, oh my God, he just admitted that he knows Ghislaine and he is trying to cover up for his dirty deeds. So 45, he was 45 at the time when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. He was 45. He was in the position of presidency when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and somehow lost his life. And you mean to tell me those people were not questioning if he had something to do with it? And then still to this day, these Epstein files have not been released? his name must be so far up and through that stuff that it's going to take years to redact information about him from those files. Okay, because if it was in there but it was just like some brief little blurbs of him being on the Epstein Island and on the plane or whatever, they would just go ahead and redact those, get those out of there, and then release it. So it's amazing to me that this is even mentioned, because most people who have sense, we already know that. We already know that he is definitely on that Epstein list. So he had made this statement, 45/47. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. And Elon Musk responded to that by saying, in light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, at SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Uh, okay, let's play this.
Spreading the cause.
People, we're lucky to have. I have to tell you, I want to thank you all, and Elon, I want to thank you. I know you've been through a lot with this horrible situation that happens.
Spreading the cause.
That's right. Saving America.
It's very unfair. What he is a patriot. He's a man that I can tell you, he's a friend of mine. He's become a friend of mine. He supported me in the election. That's when I got to know him. Really, I knew him a little bit from the first term, but not much. But he's a patriot more than anything else. He's never, think of it, he has never asked me for a thing. He could have. I always say, I wonder if he's ever going to ask me for something. And that's always subject to change. And if it does change, I'll let you know about it. But Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate.
He didn't really have to ask you for anything because you owe him. He bought you for this position, so you owe him. He doesn't have to ask you for anything.
I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing.
This dude is so full of crap. And so, yeah, so this is what when he said this, time to drop the really big bomb at real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. And he is just, none of them have any loyalty to each other. And I'm not surprised by any of this stuff. All right. So Elon Musk, who was not even born in this country and has been allowed to become one of the wealthiest people in the world, not just in the United States, one of the wealthiest people in the world due to government subsidies and contracts, right? He has been made wealthy. And he was allowed to come into this position of so-called director or head or whatever of this Doge bullcrap, where they were eliminating people's positions and jobs that they held for many years, eliminating and getting rid of programs that people need in order to live and survive, and all of the other things that they were doing. And now he is whining and crying about this disgusting, what they call big beautiful bill. And I'm so disgusted with even hearing that, how they phrase this stuff, because the crazy lunatic in the position of president, he's the one that called this bull crap that. And then you have all of these followers, these people in Congress calling it that are backing it. And then when they speak about it, the big beautiful bill, that's not what it's called. Stop saying that BS. It's disgusting. It makes my skin crawl when I hear these people speak. They are such followers. None of them have the balls to stand up and be leaders. None of these people deserve to be in these positions. None of them. All of them are just there buying time, living their lives comfortably, and not giving a damn about anybody in this country. They don't care about anybody. So this breakup, yeah, it's comical, it's laughable, it's funny to read the tweets and to, hear the things that they're saying and going back and forth with each other. But honestly, It really is not that funny when you think about the fact that they made all of these terrible comments about Kamala Harris, especially when it came down to her being a woman, and saying women should never be in a position like that because they're too emotional, they're erratic, they operate by their feelings, all of these other things that they've said about Kamala Harris. And then you've got these two numbnuts who are going back and forth with each other on social media, calling each other names, exposing each other about stuff that a lot of us already knew about, gossiping about each other. Mark my words, save this for the future, blah, 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 blah. All the things that they say about women being erratic and emotional and hypersensitive, and they are out for revenge, and all of the different things that they said about women. But Kamala Harris would have been a terrible person to be in the position of presidency. Get the F up out of here. I am so disgusted with these people. But I mean, Elon did not lie about a lot of things. I still have zero respect for him. Not that he needs mine, because even though he's still losing a lot of money, he's still got a whole lot more money than the majority of the people in this nation. So he could care less about our opinions. But he didn't lie about a lot of things. And especially when he said that without him, 45/47 would have never been 47, and he would have lost the election. And he is right about it. He is 100% right about it. So he took away the electric vehicle mandate, and it's like hypocritical of 45/47 to do that. I'm not speaking for Elon. I'm not championing him or cheering him on. But when people were protesting the BS brand of Elon Musk, the Teslas. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember the name at the moment. When they were protesting Teslas, and then he did a freaking commercial on the White House lawn to promote his brand and talk about how he just bought a Tesla and how they're going to invoke federal charges if anyone destroys a Tesla or does anything to a Tesla dealership, or all of the different things that they were saying. And now all of this is going on. He just brought 50 something people from South Africa, white South Africans, because of so-called genocide, right? Listen, send all of them back to South Africa, and send Elon too, because it's so funny that Steve Bannon is now calling for Elon Musk to be deported. None of these people have any loyalty to each other. All of them are out for blood when it's about not getting what they feel they all deserve. But I'm watching it. I'm listening to it. I'm staying tuned. I want to know what you guys think about it, because honestly, I was like, this is so draining. I have much respect for the people who stay on this stuff and talk about it all the time. I mean, honestly, I can't. I can't do it. But this is no shocker. He has been thrown under the Epstein bus. He's been rolled over. But to be honest with you, I don't even think 45/47 even cares, because he knows most people who, like myself and you all that are listening to this, who have intelligence, already know this, and there's not really much we can do about it. And then there are those that, like he said when he ran for presidency the first time around, said I could stand in the middle of Times Square and SHOOT somebody and I would still get those votes, because those people are stupid. So it doesn't matter what comes out about this, because they're either still going to deny or they're going to say it doesn't matter. God forgives, and so do I. Unless you're I was about to say the N word. Because let's be clear, that's how a lot of them feel. They're racist, they're hate-filled, and they're zero, they are 0 bits like Christ. They're so far from Christ. There's nothing Christian or Christ-like about them. So it really is laughable to me when I hear these people talk about that. But anyway, I want to know what you guys think. So you let me know your thoughts. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.